Hey there everybody, it's Rowdy here from Inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me again for another card making video. I am going to feature a new mask, decorative mask today. Oh my goodness, get my words out today. So we've got this one called Linked Together, and I'm going to team it with a sentiment from Simply Said. Simply Said's a really a useful set to have in your stash. So if you're just starting out and you need some sentiments, this one is cool, and it's at a really nice price point as well. So it's just a standalone set, but it works with so many punches and dies and stuff as you collect, or you can just obviously cut your own shapes as well. So let's have that. And then this is linked together, right? So there's 5 stencils, I think, in this set. Yep, 5. Okie dokie. Each one's got a little number on it, which you may have seen before, and this little notch which helps with positioning. And we've got these 3 that kind of make this sort of trellis pattern, and each one could be used on their own, or you layer them together and you'll get the pattern that we're working with today. You can also bring in this one. Again, it could stand alone quite easily for a nice decorative background. Watch this space on that one. Or you can combine it with any of the other ones. Okay, so again, if we stack that together, I don't know whether, oh, actually, if I do it that way, so that will line up beautifully over the top of that design, so that you can get a different look there as well. Okay, I wonder whether to do that instead of what I'm doing actually. It could look cute. Okay, so this is another option to use it. Okay, and then we've got this one, which kind of gives you this, like, it can allow you to do almost like a dimensional sort of shape on it. So once you've done your base layer in the larger one, you can cover it up and then go over some of it in a different colour or a darker colour or whatever, and you'll get like a shaded portion as well, you see. So there's loads and loads of options with this set, which is what drew me to it in the first place. Okay, so this number 4 one, I feel like, is one of those ones that'll it'll work well with others, but doesn't necessarily stand alone as well as the other ones. I'm kind of tempted to use this one and this one, just so that we've got I'm showing you something slightly different with the stencils, and it only means masks, I should say. It's masks, and it will give you a variation on the card that I'm doing now. I'm just going to mess about with that just for a second. That gives you a really tight one. And then what happens if we put this over the top? Yeah, okay, right, so lots of options, lots and lots of options. I think we're going to do this one. Let's do this combo just to make it look different to what the sample, how the sample was made. But let me just talk you through this. Can you see there are 3 colours on there? I'm hoping you can see that well enough, particularly on this one here. Okay, so this is Summer Splash, Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock layered together, but I've also used the ink more heavily towards the centre and sort of faded it out. Okay, and then I've just used the heartfelt hexagon there to cut round a heat embossed sentiment in gold, bit of gold twine, a couple of gold gems, and that was it. Done, dusted. Okay, so I did this on a larger piece of cardstock and then cut it down, which is why it's this sort of funny dimension. It's not really even, slightly wider border at the top. Okay, but if you cut down your cardstock first, obviously you'll get a nice even look on there. So now that I've decided we're going to switcheroo and we're going to do this, these 2 stencils instead, we'll start with this one to lay down the background, and then we'll go over the top with this. We will need some low tack tape of some description. Because we're covering the whole of the the cardstock at the bottom, I've just put a little bit of Stampin' Seal on the back of there just to secure it in place, because the stencil's going to be bigger than the actual piece of cardstock widthwise. So I'm just going to line that up so that the top and bottom just about are covered, and then just looking to make sure that these are roughly even, and I'm going to take that into place. And you can use a pencil just to mark that, which will help you with the placement of your other stencil. But of course you'll already have something popped down onto there to help you with that. So I'm thinking we're going to need a nice light colour for this, and I'm really drawn to go towards the pinks here, because then I can go over the top with Blackberry Bliss, which would look really, really nice. Could also do some pale blue with nice navy, all that kind of stuff. So anything like that we could work with. Pretty in Pink and Petunia Pop. Now let's do that in colours. Let's do that. Okie dokie. Pretty in Pink. So just going to use a blending brush here. We've secured it at the top. I'm just going to hold it at the bottom just so that it doesn't slip. And like with the other one, I'm going to start in the middle and work my way up the page. Then I don't have to worry too much about you know, blotting off this ink. I'm just going to go with it and take it nice and light up to the top, and you can kind of take that darker colour as high as you want and blend it out. Cool. You could even bring in other colour. I mean, you could easily bring in something else if you wanted to. You don't have to stick with one colour at all. This pink with some of our purples would be nice. Bringing in some Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape maybe. And then the other thing it would look really good with are the peachy colours, to make like a really nice sort of sunsetty sort of vibe. So you can work at that at your heart's content. Okay, and that will give us a nice background there. Really like that. That's lovely. So we can clean this off properly in a minute. Just a wet cloth or a spritz of alcohol, whichever will get that nice and clean. Okay, and then we can pop this over the top. Now we can see through this, so we can line it up. We've also got our little notch up there that we can use to get us in the ballpark. The rest we can just look and eyeball that and just make sure everything's exactly where we want it to be. That looks good. That looks good. Okay, and again I'm going to secure it at the top, and I'm going to bring in Petunia Pop. I could use a completely contrasting colour as well. Go with something completely different. I'm going to make sure this brush is clean though, because I can't remember what I had on here last time. Oh, it looks like it was Petunia Pop. That's fine. Just use some scrap paper or something for that. So of course Blackberry Bliss would look good. Berry Burst would work, and if you went over it with like a blue or something, you'd end up with a purple mix of some description, depending on what you used. Don't want to go too heavy with this colour. It's quite a dark colour, nice and dark in the middle, but I'm just going to let it naturally sort of fade out towards the bottom. And I think we just only need one pass of this. Don't think we need to do any more. Make sure that middle bit's nice and intense though. So we'll get that in. You can kind of scrape in that ink, if you know what I mean. And again, that's going to be super pink when we take it off, but it will come clean, no problem, just with a wet something or other. Okay, so I'll clean that off properly off camera. Okay, just pop that to one side, and now we've got this cute. So if you've tacked it down, just twist it and it'll come off without pilling anything. Cool. A little bit of bleed where the ink was still wet, I think, but that looks ace. Doesn't it look lovely? Okay, so loads of options with colours and combinations on that we can use. You can really go to town with that. I am thinking a bit of Petunia Pop mark around the edge will just help just frame that up a little bit. I did matte and layer the original one, but I don't want to do that with that one, this one. But this will just give it a bit of an edge, and it's surprising how much of a difference it makes just having that run around the edge. And that was just with a Stampin' Blend marker. You can use the water-based markers as well, or just gently tap it in an ink pad. Don't sort of strike it through, you might cut through the foam, but if you dab it in you can get the same effect, but the alcohol dries quickly so that you don't need to worry about smudging it or anything like that. So we're just using a plain card base, plain white, basic white card base, just to make all that detail the feature, really, to be honest. Okay, we do have the gold twine here that we can add just to sort of make it the same. This is called Gold Twisted Thread. So we can wrap a little bit of that just to give it a bit of bling. And I just use sticky tape to secure this. So we'll just wrap that round, and three's the charm, isn't it, with any of these kinds of things. It just gives you that little bit of a hint of that gold there, and we'll just trim that off. You get absolutely loads in a spool. It takes ages to get through these. Okay, so that's there like that, and I think this time I'm going to stick this flat. I popped up the other one, but I don't think we need to do that with this one. We'll pop up the sentiment instead. So we'll grab the seal adhesive and pop that on. If you're more comfortable with glue, you know, use the glue that you prefer when you're making. So I do like seal because it's fast, quick, easy, but once it's down, it's kind of down really. So if you prefer a bit of breathing space and wriggle room, you can use the multi-purpose glue. So I have gone ahead and cut a Blackberry Bliss heartfelt hexagon. Still goes with the colour scheme, although that edge is just roughed up a little bit. Okay. Already, so where did I put that? There we are, that's fine. And then we're going to obviously heat emboss the sentiment, so we'll just need a piece of white cardstock to do that on. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down a little bit first. With my punch. So I have shown this before, so I'm just going to use this strip. I've got no idea how wide it is, I'm just going with it to cut out one portion of that hexagon, and then I'm going to twizzle it around and work out which way that needs to go. You might need a post-it note to help you, because your fingers aren't going to be so your fingers don't get in the way. And then I'm going to line that up and punch it again, preferably on the white bit, so that it's thingy. So you get this like skinny shape from the hexagon. Okay, like so. Now obviously that's going to be now too skinny for that, but we can cut this down too, right? So we can double punch this. That's what I call it, double punching. So again, I can use my sticky note here and just, preferably without it falling off. See, so that's the devil with this. If it falls off inside your punch, you're just going to have to wiggle that out. I have done this before, and it has, you know, you just need to get under it and just pop it back out again if it gets stuck. Sometimes you have to just pop it out. We're going to cover it anyway, so it doesn't matter. So let's try that again with a bit more of the sticky. This sticky note I've used a lot, so it's just making this look very difficult. It's because my brain's not working. That is why. So let's see if we can slide that in. See, it's just coming off every time. It's so annoying. Sometimes you're better off trying to do it just, in fact, now we've got that hole in it, we might as well use the hole. So it doesn't always go perfectly with these things. Sometimes you have to just sort of, you know, manipulate things and get it to do what you need it to do. And today is a day where it isn't going to plan. Right. Don't want too much of it though. Every time I touch it, it blooming moves. There we go, that's better. Right, got there. Wahey. Right, so I've chopped off a little bit of that. Right, if that was, hopefully that wasn't super tedious to see, but you know, I think it's important that you know that, you know, sometimes things are not quite as simple as they seem. Right, okay, let's get this heat embossed quickly. So we'll use Versamark ink, and just pop that on there. Like so. We'll totally need our tweezers for this though, because this is super tiny, so you can just about see your ink on there if you catch it in the right light. And we'll use the gold powder. Just tip it on and just knock off any excess that you've got. Like so. The tidy tray does help keep things tidy. I'll keep everything in there, and then we'll just get our heat tool running. So you want it nice and hot. These new Wow powders seem to take the heat a little bit better. They shine up really nicely. Okay, I'm going to heat the back and then go towards the front. Okay, so you don't want to overheat it, but that was gone nice and shiny now, which hopefully picks up on the camera there. And we can just use our stamping seal there to adhere that to our Blackberry Bliss portion. And let's try not to mess it up because we took quite a bit to actually get that to stick, didn't it, and get it to punch out properly. So that will sit there, and I think that smaller punch is going to make that look really help with the background stand out, you know, standing out. Right, so let's pop a dimensional sort of top and bottom of that so that it kind of goes over the little strings there. I'll have it going off the page. It all connects it all up. It's nice to break up the lines with things. We can double up a piece of this, and we can just tie a bit of a knot. So on the other one I did some loops on the background and did it over the top of that. You don't have to, you can just do something a little bit more simple, just add something without being too finicky. Oops, there we go. Nice sharp pair of scissors is preferable. Okay, so that's there, and you can kind of fray that as well with your tool. You can untwist it a little bit and it'll start to loosen up, and then we can use some of these adhesive backed metallic gems, and you can just use these gold ones in the usual fashion just to add a little bit of bling onto here. Just going to use the 3 this time. Okay, and that is it. So what should have been nice and quick and easy turned into a bit of a fuss because of that punching thing, but you know, things don't always go to plan. Okay, so here we are with the, what are they called? It's called Link Together Decorative Masks. You'll find them in the new mini catalogue, and loads of combos that you can do with it, as I sort of briefly explained at the beginning. And these are 2 sort of so this used 3 of the masks, getting darker with the ink, but also sort of, you know, darker in the centre and working your way out. This one we used number 1 and number 5, yep, to create this design instead. Okay, both using the Heartfelt hexagon and the Simply Said stamp set for the sentiments, and you know, this lovely gold thread. Okay, so that is it for today. Hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you consider purchasing those masks because I think they're really cool, and they can be a backdrop to a main image as well. You know, use those really nice pale colours to add interest to your card. Okie dokie. Right, that's it from me today. I hope you're staying safe. Do take care, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.